hold on. Let me just explain to you as somebody who works for him and knows him well and has been alone with him many times. He is very gracious. He's a gentleman. I've never experienced that conduct. I would talk to some of the members of Congress out there when I was younger and prettier, them rubbing up against girls, sticking their tongues down women's throats who uninvited who didn't like it. Yeah, you're saying because you know it's true. They
no,
used to.
I'm hearing you. I've heard those accounts, of course. But I want to ask you.
And some of them, by the way, are on the list of people who won't support Donald Trump because they all ride around on their high horse. I know him to
So you don't believe it? You thought he was just BSing, in other words, when he talked about how he would grab women. You don't believe he was talking about his own personal experience?
I think it was interesting. You could see the anger, really the seething anger he has towards his running mate, Mike Pence. Felt undefended by him, obviously, in the debate, and undefended by him over the last days of this news cycle with this story breaking. And I think it deserves comment that the extraordinary specter of a candidate for president of the United States essentially saying, I will lock up my political opponent, this embrace of banana republicanism that we saw at the first debate.
Hey, Steve, I've got a guest in St. Louis who wants to take issue. Kellyanne Conway is with Chris Matthews, and then we'll come right back to you.
But not too soon. Thank you. I've got Kellyanne Conway here, who's been a bunch in the news yourself. Does Donald Trump, and you speak for him, does he believe Juanita Broaddrick that she was raped by Bill Clinton? Does he believe that?
He believes that she deserves to be heard and to be believed the way that Hillary Clinton said in November 2015, something I retweeted tonight. She said all sexual assault victims deserve to be heard.
But this is a charge of rape. Does Donald Trump believe it?
You have to ask Donald Trump what he believes. You guys always want to ask me what he believes. But here's the thing.
Well, he brought her here tonight.
That's right.
And he brought Kathleen Willey here.
That's right. And at that press conference today, during debate prep, she very clearly said to the press, I hope NBC News was there, Chris, that Bill Clinton raped her and Hillary Clinton attacked her. That's really the key here.
Yeah, okay, explain that part. He didn't do that tonight.
No,
he didn't really go into that.
How does Hillary Clinton, how does she treat these women? Even the New York Times last week, right after they endorsed Hillary Clinton for president, admitted that Hillary Clinton's tactic was always to blame and shame the woman, always to re-victimize the victim. Jennifer Flowers and Juanita Broaddrick and Kathleen Willey, that Paula Jones, of course. You know, the last time I didn't sexually harass someone at work, I didn't pay them $800,000 in 1998 money. So people know that he was guilty of that.
That one's on the record, the Paula Jones case. But is your campaign going to further illuminate these charges? Are you going to bring out evidence that Juanita Broaddrick has a case against Bill Clinton? Are you going to bring out evidence that Kathleen Willey was right when she said she was groped in that White House closet or whatever by Bill Clinton? Are you going to develop these stories further in the next several days?
Well, you just developed them for us. So all I need to say is our campaign will be about what you saw on the stage tonight, which is Donald Trump taking the case to Hillary Clinton that she has been in there for decades, close to 3 decades, Chris, and she's been fighting for women and she's been fighting for health care. Where are the results? Where's the production? Why are over 12 million women in this country without health care coverage? Why are over 60 million of them in poverty and growing over the last 8 years? She needs to be held to account for that. He held her to account tonight for her emails for the Syria refugee increase by 550%. He held her to account for creating that vacuum that allowed ISIS to be born and to grow. He held her to account for her actual vote.
What did he mean when he said she's a fighter and he respects that?
Well, I think that was very nice of him. He said he respects the fact that she's resilient, she's a great fighter. He just disagrees what he's fighting for.
But he believes he said she's a liar several times tonight.
Yes, but a majority of Americans, according to the NBC News poll, think she's a liar too. So that just puts him within majority.
So let's talk about the campaign. It was a bad weekend with the tape coming out. We all know that. How's the next week going to be different? How's this going to pivot tonight? It's Sunday night, the beginning of a week. Are we going to see a continued aggressive attack by Trump on her relationship with Bill Clinton during his troubles, his indiscretions, whatever you want to call it? Is that going to be part of the rest of this campaign?
We've always been trying to wage this campaign on issues.
But why will Bill Clinton be part of this in the future?
I'm sorry, will Bill Clinton?
Will Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, the way they dealt with those charges from women on sexual misbehavior, will that be part of this campaign?
Well, when Hillary Clinton attacks him about women and he attacks her about one woman here or one woman there, it's very important for him to shoot back and defend himself and remind Americans how she treated those women. The worst thing you can do to a woman who has claimed that she's been a victim of sexual assault is to try to blame and shame them, hire private investigators, besmirch them, call them Looney Tunes. But our campaign's going to be what it was always about. He's going to be in your home state of Pennsylvania tomorrow talking about issues again. We're always trying to do. But you heard a lot of issues tonight. You heard about emails. You heard about Iraq. You heard about
let's talk about the gorilla in the room, which is the tapes that came out from Access Hollywood. If you're in a jury, would you say that was relevant information for the American voter to get? Should they have gotten that information? Should Access Hollywood have left that information out to the public?
So I'm a fully recovered attorney, 12-step program and everything. I can tell you when I clerked for a judge and sat in the jury room often, in the courtroom often, the jury is instructed to take all of the evidence together. And I would tell the same people who listened to the tapes, and I agree with Melania Trump. I thought the comments were disgusting and offensive. And I've discussed them privately with Mr. Trump. I'd also say, what did he do about them? What he did was he apologized, and he also reminded everybody that as he's traveled around this country for the last year and a half, he's learned a lot from the American people, and he's doing this for them. And I'll tell you, for all those Republicans who defected, that's up to them. However, I'm not willing to give the Supreme Court over to Hillary Clinton. I'm not willing to have her raise our
the
taxes.
ideological aspect of this campaign, but what about Trump? Did you believe him when he said it was just idle, locker room banter, or was he recounting his way of dealing with women, including his aggressive grabbing, to be blunt about it?
No,
that wasn't locker room. That was a recounting of the way he dealt with women. Did you believe that was a problem for him?
I've always been a person, South Jersey, Philly. I've always been a person, Chris, who watches what people do, not what they say.
But he's talking about what he did.
He said his locker room banter. Hold on.
You mean he was making it up?
Hold on. Let me just explain to you, as somebody who works for him and knows him well and has been alone with him many times. He is very gracious. He's a gentleman. I've never experienced that conduct. I would talk to some of the members of Congress out there when I was younger and prettier, them rubbing up against girls, sticking their tongues down women's throats who uninvited who didn't like it. Yeah, you're saying because you know it's true.
I've heard those accounts, of course. But I want to ask you.
And some of them, by the way, are on the list of people who won't support Donald Trump because they all ride around on their high horse. I know him to
So you don't believe it? You thought he was just BSing, in other words, when he talked about how he would grab women. You don't believe he was talking about his own personal experience?
I've asked him if he was talking about his own personal experience, and he said no. Those are words.
So it was just sort of matching wits with some other guy about women.
That's the way he has characterized it. And I look at the full measure of everyone. You, him, me, Donald Trump. That's what we need to do with each other. And I know him to be somebody who has employed thousands and thousands of women.
Let me ask you a question about Bill Clinton's behavior and your candidate's behavior. What's relevant when you're running for president of the United States? It's not head of the government, it's head of state. You represent the country. Is it relevant what he says privately in a locker room conversation? Is it relevant what Bill Clinton did if these charges by these women are accurate? Is that all relevant?
Let me make very clear, Chris, about Bill Clinton and his conduct. The reason some of the women the women involved in his past are here tonight, and the reason we talk about it at all from my perspective is Hillary's treatment of them. She's running for president. I've seen on your network many times people saying Bill Clinton's not on the ballot. Well, she said she put him in charge of the economy.
Do you think she tried to silence those women?
I think she tried to silence some of them, and she definitely demeaned others. And in the case of a couple of them that I've gotten to know over the years, we were talking about Paula Jones and Monica Lewinsky together 20 years ago, practically 18 years ago, Chris, on your show. Hillary Clinton blamed and shamed them, the worst thing you could do to a victim. And if you read the New York Times piece last week, it laid out very clearly what the procedure always was. She and Betsy Wright at the time, you shut these women down, you try to embarrass them, go talk to the men that they may have slept with. It's terrible conduct. That's what's relevant here. She's running for president.
Well, let's litigate that. Let me ask you, are you with the campaign to the bitter end? To the last dog dies, as Bill Clinton would say.
You guys need to fact check before you start running these
Are you going to stay with this campaign to the end?
She resigned. I was making pancakes for my kids.
You're
I've been in debate prep. Obviously, I've been in debate prep. Did you see this performance
I thought it was very strong compared to the last time, definitely stronger. Who's going to be the declared
You know what it reminded me of? His performance at the NBC Commander-in-Chief town hall forum. Same thing again. So
So you're with the campaign to the bitter end?
I'm with the campaign to the bitter end unless...
Unless what?
But I'm sitting here as his campaign manager. I'm sitting right here with you in the debate hall where he just performed beautifully.
So you're worried about more shoes dropping?
No, I didn't say that. No. I've made a commitment, and I believe that he will be a much better president. First of all, he won the debate tonight, clearly. And the reason you know he won the debate is A, you watched it, or B, everybody's going to talk about that he was standing behind her and in her space.
Yeah.
But look,
okay.
I am committed to not letting Hillary Clinton appoint the next 3 or 4 justices to the United States Supreme Court. I'm committed to not allowing her to make Obamacare an even bigger mess than it is, allow her to be commander-in-chief. The woman you saw out there tonight, I think, is unfit to be president of the United States.
You still want him on the college tour?
Let's do it, baby.
Okay, thank you. Back to you guys.
Chris Matthews with Kellyanne Conway at the site of the debate. Chuck Todd, you were watching that alongside me, and we both slapped the table at the same time.
Right, we all did when she
With
said
him until
unless.
the bitter end, unless.
Chris, let's just recap which is what happened there. Chris asked Kellyanne Conway, the campaign manager, are you with him till the bitter end? And her response was?
I am with him until the bitter end, unless.
And then she let it.
No, she did. She just let that out there. I mean, it only confirms a lot of chatter. Look, this.
Unless another tape comes
Yeah,
out
I
with
mean,
you
that's what it
talking
comes
about
about, right.
grabbing women by the you-know-what. I mean, they don't know what else is out there. This is the reality that they're all
That's what
living
that-
with. I mean,
that
I don't think
unless-
we don't need to tiptoe around this.
She is.
They don't know. She doesn't know.
That is an unless. I mean, literally, you can actually see the dots like
She's on.
the thought bubble.
Kellyanne?
Back on.
You want to come back on?
Hey.
Okay, we're back.
Kellyanne,
Brian, we're back.
It's Rachel Maddow in New York. It's nice to see you again. I have a follow-up question for you because we're confused. Chris was asking you if you're with the campaign till the bitter end, and you said yes. You said you seemed to indicate that you were with the campaign, and then you said dramatically, unless, and then you let that tail off, and we don't know what the unless means.
I know. I didn't mean to alert the breaking news again, Rachel. The unless is very simple. It's unless someone in my household needs me or unless something changes in my own life.
Okay, so what we were speculating was that unless something else comes out about your candidate that you can't foresee now, unless there's, some additional tape or some additional evidence or something that you don't know about him now, that's not what you meant?
That is not what I meant. And I have to say, I think that whoever was breaking the news today on MSNBC that I was resigning while I was getting on the plane with Mr. and Mrs. Trump to come here really should do a better job checking the facts.
Well, it's always a good thing to do.
Kellyanne, it's Nicole. First off, congratulations. I know you guys were prepping before all hell broke loose on Friday, and obviously a lot of the prep took, so congratulations on that. I understand you had a very large part in that. But I also understand that it is a known unknown what else is out there about Mr. Trump, and that is of grave concern to him and the family and all of you. Is there anything you can say about lessons learned from the last 72 hours, or do you know of anything that's coming?
Nicole, I don't know anything that's coming, but I also don't want to engage in hypotheticals and speculation. I just watched 90 minutes of real debate, and it's obvious to me that Mr. Trump dominated the debate. It's not spin. I mean, she was on defense. She looked, it's almost an indignity to Hillary Clinton to have to be sharing the stage with Donald Trump, and it showed. That was a great format for him. I had said it earlier in the week and was attacked for saying it was a great format for him, but clearly it was. He gets oxygen from the people. He's out there every day talking to people at rallies in smaller settings, and she often is not. And I think that you saw that pay off tonight. The other thing that happened tonight, and I think it was very similar to NBC's Commander-in-Chief Town Hall Forum last month, Nicole, which is that you saw Donald Trump make the case, and Hillary Clinton need to defend against the fact that she represents the status quo. She represents the past. She represents politics. She represents Washington. She represents a flotilla of votes and processes that Americans just don't want to countenance. You see that I'm always quoting the 70% in the new Fox News poll. 76% of Americans say that we want to take the country in a new and different direction. And she has to somehow, to use a word, pivot away from that in a manner that convinces people that they do want more of the same. And I think tonight it wasn't good. Tonight she looked like somebody who had been in politics for decades and had not had the deliverable and the product that mattered to people.
I get one last question now. That there will be a third debate. There will be a rubber match. There will be a rubber match.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Back to you guys.
See you there.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming back, Kellyanne. That was a good sport of you to do that. Thank you.
Wow, I feel like we're all going to go home to our families tonight and hear from Kellyanne. Can I just...
Can I just say, she's so good. She's one of the best in the business. And
Dan Rather told me, after she was on my show for the first time, Dan Rather came into the studio right after her and said she could talk the legs off a table. It's true. She's good at what she does. She's got a challenging candidate.
She is also just a very good person.
Steve Schmidt, help us out here.
I would talk to some of the members of Congress out there when I was younger and prettier, them rubbing up against girls, sticking their tongues down women's throats who uninvited who didn't like it. Yeah, you're saying because you know it's true. They
No,
used to.
I'm hearing you. I've heard those accounts, of course. But I want to
and
ask
some
you.
of them, by the way, are on the list of people who won't support Donald Trump because they all ride around on their high horse. I would talk to some of the members of Congress out there when I was younger and prettier, them rubbing up against girls, sticking their tongues down women's throats who uninvited who didn't like it. Yeah, you're saying because you know it's true.